It's the festive season and I'm definitely in the mood to do some DIYs. And most importantly, it's got to be linked to the Christmas theme. In this DIY, we're going to be showing you how to build a Christmas box to cover the pot or the stand of your Christmas tree at home. What's nice about them is we've made them big enough to accommodate even the largest of pots. One of these boxes uses up one full sheet of 530 by 2.4 long laminated pine shelf. I've made use of my cutting list. Give that to the guys at Builders. They will cut it all to size for you. So that way all these pieces just fits into your car and then you just have to assemble it when you get home. Let's get started and show you what else we need. 30 and 40 millimeter screws and some wood glue. As for the tools, all you need is a cordless drill and a handsaw or a jigsaw. To dress up the timber, it's entirely up to you what you want to do. I really enjoy the Fired Earth Woodworks wood sealer. Let's get started by moving all the tools and equipment out the way and start assembling. For our main box section, we need to mark up where we are going to drill to ensure that we get our screws in the center of the thickness of the timber. Easiest way to do that is just pull your timber out, use another piece which is going to act as the same thickness, line it up to the edge, and then score your line all the way down across two sides. X marks the spot, keep it away from the edge so it doesn't crack, and we'll carry on with each piece. I'm then going to drill through those cross marks with a speed pilot. When drilling into your timber, it is a good idea to put a scrap board on the underside just to prevent any damage to the table. Line it up. Right guys, this is one of the tricky parts, is trying to get all these pieces to balance together. Here's a handy hint. Put your wood glue on first. So wood glue on 4 of the lengths, which is on the vertical side, which doesn't have the screw holes on. Pop that one into place there, line it up to the edge, and pop the next piece, which has got the screw holes, flush up against that. And that initial contact of glue, that surface tension, will hold that box into position for you. You can then shoot round with your 40 millimeter screws, hold that tight, and then drive that screw into position. Likewise, same again for the bottom piece. That's that first part of the structure in. And remember, you've got your base piece there, keeping everything square. In goes my next piece. Remember, lining up the glue with the screw holes, slotting them into position, spin that around, and then we can drive in 2 more screws. Okay, in goes our last piece. There's my box section with the base on the underside. So we'll just slide that back down and pop in the screws on the underside to secure that base section. Now the reason why I left that last is because you can actually move that base to a different height if you want it. But for this DIY, we're going to leave it right on the bottom. Now we're going to start adding all this cladding around the outside. We've got 3 different sizes here. We've got the short guys, which is for the vertical section. And then we've got these longer ones which go on the top. But you'll see there is actually 2 lengths. We have a shorter one and a longer one which actually overlaps the shorter one. As well as the thin guys here we have for the crisscross, but we'll leave that till the end because that's a little bit more difficult. Let's start with the short guys to put on the base to follow the perimeter of 2 sides, 2 opposite sides of the box. Doesn't matter which ones you start with as long as you keep working opposite each other. The first one's in place. Now you don't necessarily need to drill a pilot hole for this particular side. The timber is pretty soft and it's going into quite a thick piece. So that screw will more than likely still bite in and sink itself into the timber without cracking the timber. So we're going to save a bit of effort and just knock these screws in with a starter, knock them into position, and then we can drive it all the way home. First one is in on the side. Take 2 short ones. Let's prep the screws in the meantime. In goes one, and in goes the next guy. Okay, I like to hold that guy down tight, and at the same time it clamps the side pieces. That way I'm sure I don't end up with any gaps at these join lines. That's the first section done. You're going to do exactly the same process for the other side using the same length of pieces. Remember the shorter top one instead of the longer one. That's 2 sides of our box complete. We're now going to do the other sides. Now this is where you're going to use the slightly longer ones. As you can see, they're accounting for the overlap of the timber as well. So they're going way past that, and that join line's all going to get hidden underneath these pieces of timber. So sit in place, and we'll have one at the bottom too. Exactly the same process. Put your screws into position, turn them over, add the wood glue, hold them into place, and screw them down tight. And then do exactly the same thing for the other side. That's those side and vertical cladding on. All we need to do now is these diagonal sections. So I like to put each piece into position, hold it into place, let it overlap slightly, and then I'll just mark where those cross lines are touching, and then I know exactly where to cut. Take a scrap piece, we've got our cut line, line it up, turn it around, do the other side. There's your first piece, just great, I'm happy with that. Now these are just cosmetic, so you can just grab some wood glue and hold it in place with some wood glue. You've got your first piece in. You're going to do exactly the same procedure for the other pieces, but remember they're going to have a little cutout in the center to accommodate this cross piece going across. So same again, line it up with that corner edge, slide it over to match up with the opposite corner, and then mark the positions where the timber meets. Right, same process again, cut along your marked lines using your handsaw, or if you want to make your life much easier, make use of a jigsaw. You've got quite a few to do, so I'm going to use a jigsaw just to keep this going a lot smoother, quicker and effortless. And that's one side complete. Turn it around and repeat the same process for the remainder of the 3 sides. All the cladding is complete, even the crisscross section on every panel, and it was a little bit of extra work, but it was well worth it. I really think it does give a great feature to these boxes. You do need to seal this up now. You can go with a clear sealer and that'll still retain that natural look of the pine, or you can go with a sealer which has got a built-in stain. Really cool stuff. I'm going with the Emboya to match this box on my left here. Great stuff, non-toxic and suitable for outdoors, so it's not going to get damaged by the weather or any leaking buckets from your Christmas tree. Let's get started. When applying wood sealer, remember to finish your stroke off in the same direction as the grain. The box is complete, and that stain really did add some fantastic character and structure to this box. What a cool DIY. You don't necessarily have to use it for a Christmas tree. It'll be ideal for toys, magazines, or even firewood next to the fireplace. If you enjoyed this DIY, like it, share it, leave me a comment. You can also subscribe to the Builders Fan YouTube channel, where there's a range of DIYs just like this, as well as product reviews for you to check out.